Hi, I'm Chris. So I'd just like to talk about the use of bricks or blocks for the seated position in yoga. For many years, I was a cross-country runner and a cross-country skier, and whilst I used to do some stretching, um, it wasn't in the way you would do stretching in a yoga session. And it was, if you look at stretching from a exercise point of view, the idea of stretching is to return the muscles to their pre-exercise condition, whereas yoga is looking to increase your mobility. So it's not returning you to where you were, it's trying to take you even further. So when I first started coming to yoga, it was just a couple of years ago, and when I was first told to sit cross-legged, it was just unreal. So sitting cross-legged, it was hard just to cross the ankles. My knees were up by my shoulders, and what happens then is you really dump into your lower back and round through the back. And so when I realized that, sure, I could straighten my back, but I was pulling on my legs, pulling them even closer into my chest to do so. And then regardless of whether I was pulling for a nice flat back or just relaxing and dumping into my lower back, sitting like this for any length of time, usually more than about 20 seconds, and it's a stress position. It's like the exercise where you put your back against the wall, squat down, so you've got bent legs, and you just hold it there. That's a stress position. This for me was the same. It was really uncomfortable. It's hard to take your mind off it, and in the end you just start sweating. So, how to improve? In classes you get told you can use bricks or blocks, but the thing is, most adults, particularly males, think that, oh yeah, well, that must be like the baby version. I'm not going to do the baby version. To be honest, if you can raise your hips so that when you're sat cross-legged, your knees are at least at the height of your hips, okay? It doesn't matter how high you sit. You can sit on the chair if you need to. But if you can get your knees to be at the height of your hips or even lower, it allows these muscles to relax, and over time they'll start a gradual stretch, but they're doing it in a relaxed position. It is so much easier. Okay, the more you tense up, particularly through the hip flexors there, the more you fight, you're never going to improve. You're going to keep dumping into the lower back, and it's going to be a real struggle. Over time, you can remove some height. Over time, you can remove some height, okay? And things just start to get so much easier. So now I'm no longer up here. Sure, I'm on a brick for now, but that is fine. But my knees are out to the side, and no longer do I feel that tenseness here. What used to happen when I first started, I'd sit on the bricks or the blocks, and if I took them away too quickly or any height away too quickly, I'd very quickly notice self-consciously how the muscles here, I can consciously relax them. As soon as you just blink or take your mind off them, they've tensed up again. And you don't notice it, particularly if you're a runner, it just happens naturally. They keep tensing up and your legs are back up. And so if you add that height to start with, it allows you to relax through the legs much easier. One more thing about this. Humans aren't meant to be symmetrical, okay? You're not perfectly, if you cut a mirror here, you're not perfectly the same on both sides. You're not meant to be. So everybody talks about, they word it differently. I've got one better side or one worse side, or it's easy on one side, really hard on the other. When it comes to if you're trying to sit cross-legged, it can be exactly the same. So, if I pull my left leg in first, my knee's quite low. And when I pull my right leg in, my knees look about the same height, okay? Whether I'm sitting up straight, whether I'm dumping into my back, things look fairly normal. If I pull my right leg in first to exactly the same place, it's exactly the same as it was before. Do my left leg, oh my God, look at the difference. Doesn't matter if I'm sat up straight or dumping into my back. That's as relaxed as I can get it. This is all down to things that you've done in your life and had a knock-on effect, whether it was injuries, whether it was sport, but effectively you've put yourself into this shape and position. And yes, you can change these things, but it's not a 2-minute fix. You have to work on them. So for me, for now, I'll go that way because it's so much easier and it makes me not look quite so crooked. Okay, so do not be afraid to use bricks or blocks as much height as you need to get the knees at least hip height, ideally lower than hip height. That will help you improve much quicker. And if you notice distinct differences, try it the other way. It just might be easier. Okay, thanks for watching.